Have you ever heard of the cigarette snail? It sounds like a joke, right? But the nickname actually comes from a bit of dark sailor's humor. The legend says that if you're ever stung by this creature, you've got just enough time to smoke one last cigarette before you die. Now, to be fair, that's a bit of an exaggeration. In reality, it takes about 1 to 5 hours to kill a healthy human, but without prompt medical care, the outcome is almost always the same. This is the geography cone, Conus geographus, and it is officially the most toxic cone snail in the world. So, where do you find them? They're common in the shallow reefs of the tropical Indo-Pacific and the Red Sea. And honestly, the biggest problem is how beautiful they are. They have these broad, thin shells, usually about 4 to 6 inches long, with a gorgeous mottled pattern of chocolate brown and white. Because they look like a prized collector's item, people can't help but want to pick them up. But inside that pink or violaceous white shell is a highly specialized predator that hunts fish for a living. Here is where it gets truly wild. The geography cone doesn't just crawl after its prey, it uses biological warfare. First, it fires a harpoon-like tooth from an extendable tube called a proboscis to inject venom. But even before the harpoon hits, it might use a trick called the Nirvana Cabal. It releases a special form of insulin into the water. This isn't the snail's own insulin, it's a stripped-down version that passes through a fish's gills, causing hypoglycemic shock. Essentially, it sends the fish into a sugar crash-induced stupor so the snail can swallow it whole. Aside from one other cone snail species, no other life form on Earth is known to use insulin as a weapon like this. The venom itself is a complex cocktail of hundreds of toxins, and here's the scary part, there is no antivenom. If you're stung, doctors can't give you a cure. Their only option is to provide supportive care, keeping you breathing and your heart beating until the toxins naturally wear off. The venom is incredibly potent, with an LD50 or lethal dose as low as 0.012 milligrams per kilogram. To put that in perspective, while there have only been about 32 dozen recorded human fatalities in the last 300 years, you definitely don't want to be number 37. But here's the twist. This deadly venom might actually be a medical miracle. Scientists have found proteins in the venom that are 10,000 times more potent than morphine at blocking pain, but without being addictive. So, the geography cone is a bit of a contradiction. It's a beautiful shell, a cigarette-time assassin, and a potential medical breakthrough all in one. Just remember, if you see one on the reef, look, don't touch.